Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Apolla's Odyssey. I'm your host, Apolla Asteria, and tonight I have a very special guest with us, Richard Giordano from Gufon. He's also a fellow panelist of mine on Third Phase of Moon, and we're going to have a really fun show tonight. We're both a little comedic, so we're going to really get into that on tonight's show. And the topic of tonight's show, the title for my radio guests out there who haven't seen the title that I have on YouTube of tonight's show is, So You Want to Be a UFO Researcher? Gufon says run. So we're going to get into that and why he feels that way about being a UFO researcher. And I'm really excited to hear what he has to say about all that. We might get into, some people in the disclosure community, and I don't know, maybe we might rag on some people a little bit. I don't know. So this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited about it. And it's my first time having him on. So it's going to be a good show. I'm really excited about this. And I just wanted to thank everyone on Aftermath FM for tuning in. It's good to be on this platform. I really enjoy it. And to everyone that's on Aftermath FM that has not subscribed to my YouTube channel, my channel is Apolla's Odyssey on YouTube, so make sure you go and subscribe to that. And Richard Giordano is a Gufon on YouTube. That is Gufon, Gufon. And we're both panelists at Third Phase of Moon, so you might want to go ahead and subscribe to their channel too if you haven't already. So tonight's show is going to be a lot of fun. Like I said, we're going to really get into it with the UFO community. It's good to see everyone in the live chat tonight here on YouTube. Really enjoy seeing everyone's comments on here during the live shows. It just makes it more fun to interact with everyone. I really enjoy it. So it's good to see everyone here because I only go live on this channel once a week now. So it's really good to see everyone here. So before I get into this, I want to bring the guest on. I want to share my art, which is at shamanspears.com. I do not yet have sponsors for my network. I really need to work on picking that up. And by the way, if you want to sponsor a really cool radio show host, you might want to hit up your girl, Apolla Asteria, and you can do that by going to apollaasteria.com. And there's a contact section on the site. And if you're interested in sponsoring my show, maybe a few $100s a month, I can talk about your product on all my shows. Hit me up. Let's talk about it. But so for tonight's show, I'm really excited to get into this with the guests. And if you want to help fund my show, if you want to help keep me going, check out my shaman spears. I make these really amazing crystal spears for channeling energy. It's kind of my thing. I don't really go on adventures or hiking without them. People are always like saying that follow me on social media, like, wow, every picture of you is with you holding a stick on a rock. That's pretty much my life. If I'm not at conferences, I'm on a rock or a giant mountain holding a spear. That's just kind of my thing. And if you would like to join me in that, you want to have your own spear adventures, go to shamanspears.com, and I have a few spears left in the Odyssey collection. This collection is all made with silver staves, and shaman spears are basically like a mix between wands and spears. They all have copper coils, crystals, magnets, and sand. I collect from sacred places around the world down the insides. and they are painted with crop circles that have been found around the world. And yeah, so they're really cool. Definitely recommend checking those out. And like I said, it helps fund my show. I also have a lot of other amazing art creations on my site and shirts that help promote my show. I believe in human t-shirts. I believe in humans t-shirts. And they actually have my show logo for Apollo's Odyssey on the back. I only make 30 of them. There's only 30 of these shirts, and then I'm going to move on to a new collection of shirts. So if you want to have one of the first shirts that are ever going to be made to promote my show, you might as well go ahead and check those out. And there aren't very many of them left at this point. So, and again, that is all on shamanspears.com. So if you want to, again, if you want to help fund my show, go to shamanspears.com and check out my art. All right, let's bring Gufon on and get into tonight's show. I'm really excited about this. Hey, Richard. Nice to see you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. Good to see you.
Yeah. I just was on your show a few nights ago on the panel with Third Face and Mirror, and that was a lot of fun. It was really cool being on the panel with everyone. And that was probably the funniest episode I've ever done, in my opinion, because of what you asked me about Baby Yoda at the end there.
It was funny.
I don't know if you realized at the time, but I seriously lost it when I rewatched the show the other night, because when you started talking about Baby Yoda, I thought you were talking about me, because you're like, oh, you said, you're like, oh, that little girl, you said you little Grotu, but I thought you said, oh, that little girl, you little baby.
Oh my God.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, wait, what?
I know, I saw the look on your face.
And I realized you're talking about Baby Yoda, and I was like, oh, wow.
You're like, thank God. I'm like, hey girl, what's up, baby doll? How you doing?
I thought that's what you were doing. I'm like, this is okay. And then, when I rewatched that panel the other night, I totally forgot about that, and I seriously lost it when I saw that part.
That's
that
great.
Was so good. Oh my God. I was seriously laughing for an hour straight.
Hey man, I wanted to know what's going on with you dressed them up and everything, and I was curious, so... That's how I do my show, I just do it off the cuff.
Yeah, I love it. That's why I'm really excited about that with tonight's show, because we both do a little comedy, so we can make tonight's show really fun. I'm excited about that. Usually I bring people on, they want to be super serious. We can be serious too, but we can make it a little bit fun also. You know what's funny? Actually, on the way to my studio, it's over here off Hollywood Boulevard, I went in somewhere to grab a Red Bull, and I found these really weird, these chips that taste like Cardi B.
Ew!
They're Cardi B flavored. They're called Rap Snacks.
Oh my God, it looks like Max Headroom.
And they say that they're Cardi B flavored, and I was like, this is really weird. But I really needed to eat something, and there wasn't anything else, so I'm like, I guess I'll try these. I mean, I haven't tasted Cardi B before, but... it's pretty interesting.
Does it taste like super salty corn or something?
It does, actually. It does taste a little bit like that. I don't know how they figured out how to make a flavor like her. I don't know if they hired someone to taste her and figure that out. But
I heard she gets around, so I guess the flavor is somewhere saved.
Someone's asking, what flavor? Yeah, it's Cardi B flavored Rap Snacks. A little promo.
What do they look like? Can you take out one? Oh, that looks good.
Yeah, I don't know if this is just a Hollywood thing. I don't know. It's kind of weird. You probably order them offline. I mean, they're actually not too bad. They're okay.
That's funny. It looks very well seasoned, too. It looks like they put a lot of stuff on it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Hey, I just want to say, your sound is coming in and out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's in and out. It's wavy.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, wow, that's much better.
Is it? Oh,
do you have a Yeti?
It's a Samsung G-Track Pro.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's a nice mic. Yeah. Okay. I didn't know it looks like my microphone. I have that Yeti, and I didn't know if, maybe I could help you out. But
Yeah, I
okay.
always wonder. I don't know if it's this direction or this direction I'm supposed to have it. Does this sound
Sounded
better? Does this
exactly
sound
the
better?
same, but I think it
Oh,
was,
okay.
yeah, it comes in and out. It's like you'll be talking and you're not moving, and then it just fades away a little and comes back. I
Weird.
noticed it in the recording we did the other day.
Well, I noticed that too, and then I turned it around for my show yesterday, and it was fine.
That's
So
fine. The way it is now, that's perfect.
okay, cool. Perfect.
Yeah.
So, can you go ahead and give the audience a little bit of your background for anyone who doesn't know about you or who you are?
Nope. Yeah, I will. Of course.
They'll just have to figure it out on their own. They'll just figure it out throughout tonight's show.
That's it. The letters will pop up behind me, and you'll have to figure it out in a puzzle. No, I got into this like a lot of people by accident. I saw something, it interested me. The next night I went out, I saw it again, and I went online. This was back in 2004, in April 2004 to be exact. And I saw a website called UFOsoverPhoenix.com. And it's a guy named Jeff Willis. And I contacted him and reached out to him, and he said, "Hey man, you know what you need to do? You need to shoot this stuff in the daytime." And I'm like, "Oh, well, wow, I didn't know that's something you could do." I didn't know. I just watched TV, throughout all those years up until that point. And I had just gotten LASIK surgery for my eyes, so my vision was 2015, at least for a year or two. I was seeing stuff that nobody could see standing next to me. It was very interesting to see that.
Whoa.
I know, it was weird. But I talked to Jeff, and then I borrowed my sister's camera. It was June when I did that. I didn't know where I was going to get the money to buy the camera at the time, and I didn't know what to do. But I was seeing stuff, and I was probably seeing satellites. But what I saw on April 15th and 16th wasn't satellites. It was just a point of light. We called them dots, and it just came here, went there, and then one went out, and another one came up, and it moved in place of where the other one was at. It was like there was synchronicity to it. It seemed purposeful. It definitely wasn't satellites. I say that, but I feel confident in that. Well, anyway, it drew me in, went online, talked to Jeff, got the camera in June, and on June 27th, I captured the first of 5 triangular crafts. Actually, 3 points of light. Not a big craft, but it could be. I just don't think it is. I think it's 3 points of light. Caught that for about 7 minutes, and it was interesting. Came up out of the south, turned east, and then it went over these mountains in Scottsdale called Arizona, the McDowell Mountains. You've seen them if you ever watch the golf tournament they have. I don't know, the waste management tournament. Anyway, those mountains are very famous, and I saw
What
this
part of
object.
Arizona?
Scottsdale.
Is that like northern Arizona or like?
Oh, it's in the middle of Arizona, really, but it's like very north of Phoenix. Like if the airport was center of Phoenix, I was 15 miles north. So right on the edge of Phoenix and Scottsdale. It's where I pretty much grew up. They call it the Hollywood of Arizona. Very nice place to live. And very quiet at night. Like everybody, there was no traffic, nothing going on. So I was outside every night, capturing just random things and sending them to websites. And people were like, "This is amazing stuff. Where'd you say you were getting this at?" And I'd tell them, and they're like, "Next time you send a report and give us this, that, and the other thing." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Okay." So the weather, who was with me and all the other stuff that should go into a real sightings report. So I did that, and I started seeing things more regularly. And on December 12th, I was capturing a UFO fleet, which was coincidentally a month after the Tic Tac event happened. And who knows, I could have seen a fleet of Tic Tacs, but that is the thing that kind of put me on the map. And it was weird. There's a story that goes with it. It'll take me a minute, but I'll go quick. I've told it a lot. So I quit ufology the day before. I told my wife, my ex-wife now, I said, I'm not going to do this UFO thing. It's stupid. All I am is seeing one dot, a dot, a dot. Everybody says I'm doing a good job, but I don't like it. Because just recently, I saw a UFO fleet in Mexico where, I don't know if you ever saw the fleet, but they were counting them. And it was probably drug runners or oil wells in the ocean. But whatever it was, I wanted to see that. So I told my wife on December 11th, I go, that's it. I go, if they can't show me a fleet of UFOs or make a constellation out of 7 or 8 of themselves, or show me some geometry in the sky, I wish I could see that. Yeah, I don't believe in this stuff. It's got to be garbage, and I'm really being negative. And she's like, I told you, hon. She goes, you're just seeing like airplanes and balloons. And I go, probably. So I put the camera down, called it quits, which I've done 3 times already. And the next day I go out just by accident, I look up and I saw a flash in the sky and grabbed my camera. It was an unusual object that was spinning in its place. And I'm like, that is different. And then I just saw a flash out of the corner of my left eye. And I looked up and I saw pop, 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 like flashes. So I turned the camera towards it and used a branch in the tree to like focus. I had a new camera. I bought a new camera a month earlier, and I couldn't remember where the focus wheel was, so I had it on autofocus for a few minutes. And I went up, and you see these objects, and they're in geometric, patterns. And it was weird because it's as if they heard me the night before. And this has happened many times over the years where I say, I'm done with this. I hate this field. And then something pulls me back in. So that's what happened. And what I saw and recorded, and people will see shortly before the year's end, because I posted it on my old website, but I took it down and, when I quit and all that. It shows a genie's lamp, because, I was wishing I'd see something. It showed Orion's belt. Ooh, because I wanted to see constellations. I saw that. I forget. What is that? The Little Dipper or Big Dipper. They showed me that. And at the finale of everything was a question mark. You can clearly see it. It was made out of 9 of these white dots. And the question mark was, don't question it. That's what I felt. It was a message. I think it was for me. It lasted 25 minutes, this sighting. It was amazing. And ever since then, I've pretty much been, debunking myself and looking at all these people. I met Jaime Maussan and saw a bunch of tomfoolery going on, met other people. They're just talking, I'm going to be on TV. I'm going to write a book. I'm like, congratulations. So I started looking into things that most people didn't. And that was the credibility of the people in this field. I mean, there were people doing it, but I was really talking about it. And I started the AZ UFO show, and the rest is history from that point on. I mean, I've got over 20,000 hours of sky watching. I've got a few good sightings, some, better than others, but yeah, it's been an interesting an interesting ride.
Wow, that's really incredible. And for me, it's just been like I got into this community about 7 years ago, going to conferences, and there's so much that happens in this community, so much drama that's related to all of that with everyone that's involved in all of this. And you're getting a little bit into, like, I saw in your bio that you really get into the hoaxes and the credibility of different people that come out. And you said you wanted to lay it all out to me, so I'm curious to know, like, what have you dealt with over the years, and why do you say when it comes to being a UFO researcher that if someone wants to get into this, they should just run?
Yeah, no, that is a really good question. And I think you'd be wasting your time if you think you're going to get the truth. Okay, so you can't go into this thinking, oh, I'm going to figure it all out. I'm going to be the one. See, my thing, when I got into it because I wanted to showcase my sightings. And then it turned into this, oh my God, nobody really cares about what I'm sending them. I could send them anything, a balloon far away or a plane, with the lights on, looking interesting. Nobody was vetting me. Nobody was, coming to meet me or, look me in the eye. Back then, YouTube was barely even started. So I went to a Jaime Maussan conference. He used my video, but he also used a video of somebody who recorded a bag, a black, hefty garbage bag that looked unbelievable. It could be the best sighting that never happened. It was beautiful. And Jaime said, "Oh,
it was a garbage bag?"
It got caught in a dust devil, and it got.
But it looked like some crazy UFO.
Oh my God! It was sparkling. It looked like lights were popping off on it because it was, kind of deflated, and there were all these weird angles from the bag.
Yeah.
And it was way up there. So what my friend did, this guy Michael, he watched it the whole way down, and when he saw it land, he's like, "This is unbelievable." So he showed me, not telling me what it was, and he's like, "I'm gonna bring it to the Jaime Maussan conference." And he did, and then Jaime didn't. Whose video is this? But the best thing I ever seen, and they squeezed it in this 3-hour Jaime Maussan conference, and people gave it a standing ovation. It was crazy.
And it was a garbage bag.
Garbage bag. Poor guy. Poor Jaime. He doesn't know. But it was an interesting experience.
Oh, you guys didn't even call him out on it. You're just like,
no.
Let him run with it.
Yeah. Yeah. But one of our friends who really turned on us for no reason whatsoever told Jaime afterwards. He tried telling him before the conference, but afterwards he told Jaime, and then he took it out because I saw it before and after. So he removed it, but I'm sure it's out there somewhere. But other than that, basically, if you want to get into this field, great. Do your own research, get a good camera, don't use your phone. If you think you're going to do research on the internet, well, that's only half of it. And plus, a lot of the stuff on the internet, you really can't trust. So I always say, if you're going to do this research, look for people who seem credible and meet them. See if you can meet with them or talk to them, like we're doing here, maybe with the camera on Skype or Zoom, whatever. But this is serious business and a dangerous one at that. So if you get into this field, you could be followed like I was. I recorded somebody following me and a couple of times.
Holy crap. When?
Yeah. The video's online. It's called The Spy Guy. And it was pretty interesting. It was in 2004. And I was out on the side of the road on the weekend in Phoenix, and it was really dead. There's no traffic in Phoenix. So I see something, I'm recording it, and I see a guy have a tripod out on the corner of the street looking right at me. And I was on the phone with my friend because I told him, "Hey, I'm catching something." And he says, and then I said, "There's some guy doing what I'm doing." He goes, "Well, record him." As soon as I turned the camera on him, it took him a second to realize what happened. And you can see him. He turned his head, pushed the camera down into the tripod, lifted it up, and walked away. And it looked like, man, I don't know, but he was just a regular guy in jeans. He looked like about 6'2", 6'3", long hair. I called him a bum because he looked like he was dirty. I don't know. It was just a weird experience. And a security guard who was watching the garage on that corner must have seen what this guy was doing. And I think if this guy was to get behind a building and try to record me, it would have gotten the attention of the security guard there. So I think that's why he walked right up into the middle of the street almost, actually on the end of the sidewalk up to the street, and made himself visible. And that was just really weird. I was told that, maybe it wasn't like a Men in Black. It could have been a MUFON rep trying to get information on me. Who is this guy capturing all this stuff? Because I heard that's what they do. They follow some people sometimes to get the lowdown on who they are, where they live, what they do. Who are these people? So, you want to get into this? Well, I had people try to break into my home. I've been followed. I've been threatened. My wife has been threatened. She could be raped. My dog would be murdered. I'd have to watch it all. I had my website taken down. Not taken down, but I had a virus on the computer that had the website. I couldn't do anything with it. I couldn't update it. The guy who made the website wouldn't answer my calls anymore. And we were good friends. I used to work with this guy. I didn't know what happened to him. I drove over to his house. He was gone. He moved. So there were so many weird things that happened. Yeah, man, it's been a good ride. I like it. I like all the weirdness about it. But if you want to get in this
is
field,
from just going out and filming stuff a lot, or talking about? You think it was what you were talking about, the people you were interviewing, or?
Nope. I think it's about. No, when I first got followed, I didn't have the show until about a year and a half later. And I had the website, which blew up. It was called CNUFOS, CNUFOs. And by the way, that's my license plate that I talked about the other day.
Cool.
Yeah, that's the best. SR71. Ha! No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. That is a cool license plate that he has.
It was pretty badass because
yeah,
it's badass. On a Corvette. Like, that's, black Corvette.
I can see him that way. I mean, he is, he's a handsome man. But anyway, so, and his history and the way he is, it just makes him that much hotter.
Totally.
So, I don't know. What was I saying?
We're talking about Jim Goodall, by the way. Anyone who's curious. Maybe I shouldn't have mentioned it.
Well, now the secret's out.
Yeah,
me and Jim are dating.
Jim Goodall. He's a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, Jim's cool. I hope I'm that cool, when I get that age. So that, pretty much is what's going on with the way things were when I started out here, I don't see any of that now, everything. I'm pretty much an open book. I'm not really sky watching like I used to be because I don't think we can win this battle of the balloons, birds, drones, and everything else. It's very difficult to get a unique sighting now.
It really is difficult to tell it apart. Like if something's really legit, like for example, a couple of months ago, I was driving up north to Mount Shasta for a little small conference thing. And I was with Ben Chastain from Edge of Wonder. And we're driving up north, and it was probably like 3 a.m, and we're like somewhere under like Sacramento or something like that. And this it looked like a big triangular craft comes down and comes like right up over us. And it looked like a TR-3B. And we were like, holy crap. Oh my God. And then we saw it come up and turn around and flash on the side again. It's like pitch black, and we're just seeing this big triangle craft, and it comes up and moves like this and then goes over, and we're just like, oh my God. And it was like way off in these cornfields to the side. So I was like, dude, we need to follow this right now. I need to know what this is. So we
that's the one you
take
recorded?
this over. Yeah. So we take this overpass over, and we come around, and there's just this, triangular looking craft going back and forth over this field, and these lights are blaring out of it. And it looked like the craziest thing I've ever seen. I was like, oh my gosh, dude, we're literally looking at a TR-3B right now. This is insane. And we were like freaking out. And then after a while, I realized, oh my God, this is a crop duster, isn't it?
That happened, but at least you were there. And man, doesn't it feel good when you think it's what a TR-3B? Isn't that weird feeling?
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy because it just comes down. We're just looking. We're like, what is that?
Cool
and
video,
then it like comes around like, on its side where it just looked like this big like triangular craft, and we're like, holy crap. It was definitely a really wild feeling when I thought that's what it was. I was like, this is crazy. I was almost a little freaked out, and then I felt like an idiot when I found out what it really was.
Never ever feel that way, and I know I say the same thing, but that is a great learning experience you shared with all of us.
Ben says, I don't know. I still think it might have been.
You don't know. You didn't talk to the pilot.
He says it was hovering.
Well, if it was, man, that's cool.
It was a TR-3B disguised as a crop duster.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I don't know. Crop dusters go out at 3 a.m. That is kind of weird, but
they have those big lights so they could see everything.
Yeah,
I think they do.
Yeah.
They go out at those hours because they want to get the bugs before they hatch or whatever. Before they leave when the sun comes up, they want to get them while they're sleeping.
Yeah, they have drone ones now too. I was looking online and I realized they have these crazy looking drone ones now.
There's every shape in the book now. Balloons, motorized balloons, blimps, everything you could think of. The alphabet. I see a lot of those, are sent to me. I don't know what this is. It's gleaming the sun and all this, and it looks like it's changing shape. I'm like, yeah, it's the letter N. It's sad, but people don't look up. And I remember when I first got into this and I was looking up and I was sending all these people stuff, I would never send them that stuff now. But you learn as you go along. That's why you have to actually get out and do it. If you want to be that kind of researcher, there's all different avenues you can go down in this field, You could do what John Greenwald does from the Black Vault. Just do FOIA requests on sightings and stuff like that and get the documentation. See if you can get, some information we don't have. Like I said, meet people, or there's all different ways you can do this. But it's dangerous.
Have you got anything over the years that you feel was really legit? Do you have any stories to tell of anything you found like that you really feel was the real deal?
Well, I like the Fleet sighting because there's something odd with that sighting I talked about. There was all the white objects, about 30 of them. But behind them or next to them were these other black objects that seemed like they were mimicking the movements. But every now and then, like if you would see 4 of them in a square, one of those black dots like that were behind it, I don't know if they were shadows or whatnot, but I don't think they were. You would see it move. It would go over here. And then this one would go over here. And I didn't notice that for about 6 years. Until the big screen TVs came out and plasma and all that. And I put it up on the video, on the TV to show my friend what I captured. And he's like, what's that black dot? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I go, whoa. And then they were doing things that the white dots weren't doing. And I thought it was just shadows, but it wasn't. So that, to me, I think may be part of that Tic Tac group that was seen a month earlier. Because I captured that December 12th, and the Nimitz event happened, mid-November? November 4th? I don't remember, but it was in November. So, I don't know. And at that time, a few months ago, in Mexico, because I lived in Arizona, in Mexico, they were having fleet sightings. So, it was the right timing for me to see that. And I think I was one of the first people ever to catch a UFO fleet in America.
Wow.
It's pretty wild. Yeah, I also have another one that just amazing. It was in April 2006, and it's another fleet. I was at a stoplight, and I saw the flashing again, and I'm like, what is that? And I saw what looked like I thought was a dust devil, because they all started, like, uniformly going in a circle. And then they just started spreading out. And there was no dust, so I pulled over at a Walgreens right into the driveway there, and I had the camera out of the sunroof, and I'm recording. You see objects hovering and another object going right for it and then goes right around it. I've got really cool stuff like that. So that's cool. The 5 triangles are cool. I even think I have a legitimate, like a jetpack guy. I call it the humanoid back then in the day.
Way. What year was that?
That's crazy. 2004.
I know that's.
I'm sorry.
People have been seeing
2005. September 23rd, 2005.
Wow. I know some people have been witnessing a jetpack guy over LA lately coming down to LAX. And I mean, I'm sure they're doing. I know they already have the technology out, and it's like, dude, there's so many like mega rich people out here. They probably just have friends that are scientists make it for them, and then just go out for joyrides. Well, I would if I was them.
But they're up at 3,000 and 6,000 feet, and that community, because we did a little research on it. That community is very tight-knit. There's only 2 or 3 people in the world that know how to do this. And I thought the same thing as you. Maybe it's just some guy, with a lot of money and friends, and they put together this thing. But to get that kind of altitude and still have the power to land safely, it's unheard of in all jetpacks. By the time you get up there, you're out of juice. Yeah, it only lasts for a minute.
Have you seen that Rocket Man movie?
Yeah.
Dude, I actually saw that like right after the whole jetpack thing happened. And that's kind of crazy. Like, I feel like, the military probably does have some things like that for like
They do.
yeah.
They show a guy, he's got him on his hands and his feet. The like what do you call it? Iron Man? And he leaps off of one boat and lands on another.
And that was in like the World War II era or recently?
No, just recently.
Oh.
It's they're on you can see all these videos on the internet, on YouTube. It's pretty cool. Yeah,
Wow.
there is technology like that. But for somebody to fly around LAX at 6,000 feet near airplanes that are coming in or taking off or landing, takeoff, whatever, that is not only the most dangerous thing. I mean, you could kill hundreds of people in the process if your machine went out of control.
So do you think that was an alien then?
I really don't know. I know what I saw, and what I saw was bizarre. It looked like the Iron Man suit, but it actually looked old, like it had patina on it. It looked like an old scuba helmet was the mask.
Where was that?
In Scottsdale, where I lived, right over my house. Yeah.
That's really wild. There's a lot of really interesting things that happen in the desert in that area of the country. Definitely. And it's interesting because there's a lot of bases out in that area of the country, so it kind of makes sense. But at the same time, I mean, it makes sense for if any UFOs wanted to like aliens wanted to come fly over and not be noticed, that would be a good area to fly over. It's like a desert part of the planet. So I don't know.
Yeah, because it's not like where I am in Florida now where there's always clouds around, low flying clouds. In Arizona, it can stay sunny for like 3 months straight. The whole Southwest region, it's awful. But you can see from 100,000 feet up, so I think that's true. That's a good statement. Arizona's got 3, 4, maybe 5 of those bases that are very well known. Luke Air Force Base, they've got Tucson, Montan Air Force Base, they got where the Phoenix Lights event happened in 97 was probably because of Barry Goldwater Range. People seeing, they drop flares over in that area at 10 o'clock. And the whole story about the Phoenix Lights. But it's a very interesting state. A lot of history for UFOs.
I had a really wild experience over the border. Kind of, I believe it was either on the border of kind of closer to California or Nevada. I'm not sure if it was right over in Nevada or right over the border from Nevada and California. But it was actually at Area 52, which is like, apparently there's these different areas that are like research areas. And it's actually just this huge patch of land in the desert and there's nothing on it, but they claim it's a tortoise research area. I didn't see any tortoises. Okay. But and so there was like this little like desert like moon tribe kind of event. It's like this little burner group. They like randomly threw a thing out there, and I mean this place is like way out in the middle of nowhere. And I promise I wasn't on anything. I was at one of these events, but I was not on anything. And I'm with a group of people. I promise. I know. And I was with a group of people, and like the sun had just come up a little earlier. It was like 6, 7 a.m. or something like that, and this like craft comes right down over us, and it's like, I mean, it's this like triangular craft, and it comes right down over our heads, and we didn't see it coming. We're just sitting there talking, we're way out in the middle of nowhere, and there's no clouds, it's bright and sunny, and this craft is all of a sudden like right over us, and it's like super loud, and it's like this big triangular looking thing, and we're all looking up, and we're like, oh my God, what the heck is this? And then all of a sudden it just disappears and the sound disappears, and we're looking around and it was nowhere in the sky. There's no mountains or anything that were close by for it to go behind, no clouds. It was really strange. Like it happened so fast. Like we were all like, it was almost like we weren't sure if we had seen it, but we all saw it. So it was really strange.
What kind of sound?
It was just like a really loud, like whirring sound,
like that, like a droning on, like, was it like a washing machine or?
Well, not quite. I don't know. It was just a really loud air sound, I guess. Like maybe not as much like a Huh. I don't, it's just, yeah, I'm
Not
sorry. I
like
don't
a
know.
whoosh, like a. It wasn't like a whoosh. It was like a whoo.
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
it was just a
yeah.
really loud, like, yeah, I think it was kind of a worrying sound.
Okay. I was
Yeah.
just curious. Yeah, 'cause, a lot of people they don't remember exactly what it sounds like. It's weird.
I mean, maybe
Something.
we were all abducted and then dropped off and our
Yeah,
memories were wiped, you know? We
totally. You
just
wouldn't know it.
remembered it coming down over us, and the next second we're like, what just happened?
You know, we talked about this on. I don't know if we talked about it on our panel thing, but do you know if anybody really seriously if anybody's removing the implants now? Because Lear was removing implants, but who's doing it now? Does anybody know?
I don't know. I've actually been wondering the same thing because, like, I mean, if I was a doctor and I was hearing about these cases, I would want to see it for myself, definitely.
Yeah, I know.
And supposedly, I mean, this happens to a lot of people, so it'd be interesting to see. I mean, do you know how do they even go about finding them in someone? Do you know about that? Because I don't really know.
I
It,
don't know, but I think the Cousins brothers have a movie about number 17. I think it's like Patient 17. It's not their movie, but I don't remember the name of it right now. Maybe they know. Maybe they have the answer. I know that these people, are looking for answers. They have this thing, it's in their leg. So I think they already know where it is. But they take x-rays of people, of their wrist. That's what he did, their heads. So I guess x-rays really show where it's at.
like an MRI machine.
I'm not sure if that was used.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure it was a regular x-ray definitely was used. But I don't think you can use an MRI because it's metallic. It would want to get ripped out of your body. As soon as you turn that thing on, that's why they make you take all your metals off, your rings and everything.
Oh, wow. I wonder if that's happened to anyone before going in one. I mean, that's
Apparently. I
really,
mean, yeah, that's awful.
wow.
Yeah, I wonder if that works on like your fillings and stuff like that. So I don't know. But nobody's doing it. And, who's taking care of the abductees? That seems to be a thing of the past nowadays. Nobody's talking about abductees. Are they? Do you know of any new abductees in this world?
I mean, I watched so many different shows. I mean, I know Carrie Cassidy of Project Camelot. She's brought on some recently. But I mean, yeah, I
But
don't know.
nobody that's made any noise like a Travis Walton story or Betty and Barney Hill.
Well, it's like
Nothing
we
like
have all
that.
those like secret space program people. What do you think about them? That's one topic we can get into with the topic of tonight's show. I mean,
Hey, I wanted
do
to
you have
ask
any
you how
opinions?
before I answer that, how long are we going here tonight?
Actually, this is only an hour-long show on Aftermath, so
So we're only
yeah, we
15
have
minutes
about
left.
15. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, good, because I could have changed. I have my show starting at 5 after the top of the hour. So
Okay.
that's why I was asking. I could change it. So what was the question you asked about what?
How do you feel about the
Oh,
secret space program people in this
you know,
community?
I really don't like it, but I do like it because I like that it might be possible. I like the
Hmm.
idea of it. I just don't think Wilcock, Asagio, and Corey Good and anybody else are really doing it. Uh, their stories have been plagiarized. They plagiarized other stories from the 70s and stuff, especially Wilcock and Good. Their whole foundation is based on lies. But it's still unprovable. I mean, who goes to Mars for 20 years and then they put you back into the age you were before you left? Nah, I don't know about that. I really
It's
don't.
so fascinating to hear, though. It's
I
like,
know.
when I first started, they were all coming out on Gaia, and I don't want to name certain people and whatever, but,
Sure.
when they were all coming out on Gaia, let's just say that, I'm like, oh my God, this is wild. This guy's saying all this stuff about going to all these different planets. I mean, my jaw was just on the floor. I couldn't believe it. This guy really believes what he's saying,
He does.
apparently. And like, I don't know what to think of it. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it did happen to them, or maybe it's some Another thing I wonder is maybe it's some sort of program to get like a part of a soft disclosure program to get people to begin to open their minds to the possibility that this can happen in the
Yeah.
future. I've wondered that.
I don't think that's a bad thing either. It's just everybody's asking for proof and there's never proof. And, these people don't have the best reputations. We've all heard horror stories about them. All the bad stuff that could happen to somebody follows these people. It's amazing. And that just goes in line with their story. I mean, it's definitely BS, but maybe there is truth to it. Maybe they heard a story from somebody who really was, doing that kind of stuff, and they just decided to use it for themselves. I don't know. I think there is a secret space program. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And a secret government and a government that's running everything. I mean, I don't know about the Matrix, but now we're talking about a whole different show. But we live in very strange times and on a very strange planet. I think it's more paranormal than normal. So anybody who hasn't seen anything or felt anything or witnessed anything, they're just not in tune with it right now.
I really feel that it is very possible. I was talking about this with Dr. J on a show I did last night that, that there could be some mega rich elite that maybe probably don't even have their name on the Forbes billionaire list, like the ones that want to stay secret and don't want anyone to know who they are, like the super old money families.
Yeah.
Could already have some whole breakaway civilization thing going on, and it's like, if they have that, why would they care about the rest of us? If they've like been doing this for years and are all advanced, they probably are just looking at us like the rest of the world, like like a bunch of sheep or a bunch of cattle, and they're like, it could be very likely. I mean, I don't know, but
it is.
Then that would mean that, Elon Musk and all these people that are working with different space projects are just working on cover projects, so it's kind of weird.
It is. It's like, are they wasting their time? Are we going to allow these people to just do this, and meanwhile we can take ET home right now? It doesn't seem fair, but you got to have a cover if you want to have the other stuff. It's the way it's always been, and there's a good reason for it. We don't want our adversaries to know what we have. We don't want them to know we can make a weapon and destroy the whole planet in an instant, or them, or whatever. It's very scary if we have this stuff. And, Elizondo and this new SOD department, the permanent office of the UAPTF, which will be expunged, and then the new office of the SOD inside the DOD, that was a question I asked when we did the panel. Why even have it? They're not even going to care. They don't care about anything about the public. It's a UAP office strictly for government and Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, Super Space Force. That's what it's all for. So I guess they're supposed to be transparent, and we're supposed to see something every year, what they've learned, if anybody got injured handling these things or getting next to them. But it's all a cover, I feel.
Yeah, I definitely feel that that's the case. And when it comes to Admiral Byrd's mission and everything with Antarctica, I mean, there's definitely something going on there. And I don't know if the whole these secret space program whistleblowers, if they just kind of took that story and kind of went off that and created this whole other side to it, or if there's a lot of truth in that. I mean, what do you feel about that?
I think there is. I don't think Admiral Byrd would come back and make up a story like the one he did, fighting at war with aliens. It's the same story, pretty well, not really the same, but it sounds similar to Phil Schneider's story. Accidentally going, digging into the tunnel system of where aliens are and having a shootout with them. That was very intriguing. He died, very under weird circumstances, but Admiral Byrd's story is phenomenal. I mean, we're talking about hollowed earth, they're living in the earth, like, really? And I wouldn't think that would be something that's not out of the realm of reality. I think aliens can do anything they want if they have the technology we think they have, which is why they can stay on the moon, go into the ocean, live under ice, or go into the sun. We've seen those videos. You see UFOs or whatever going into the sun, coming out the other side. Wow, what a great time to be in ufology and a very hard time to be in ufology. It's like we're so close. You know?
Yeah, there's been so much coming out in regards to disclosure over the past year or so, and it's been really cool to see.
Big time. Hey, what's one of your favorite stories of the last year and a half? Or ever? What's your favorite one ever?
My favorite stories of
favorite sighting report or, abduction story, event, anything.
Well, I just hung out with Travis Walton, and I did did a little interview with him, and it was really amazing to actually, I was with Disclosure Con in Arizona with him last weekend. Or not last weekend, the weekend before, and we shot guns together and went and saw petroglyphs. And his story is just so fascinating. I know that's like one of the main stories that everyone just kind of goes over, but it's just so credible. What happened to him was just very well documented, and there was so many witnesses. And it's crazy that his friends were even tried for murder because or were under a murder investigation because they witnessed what happened to him, and then they come back and they're like, hey, like, Travis just got abducted by aliens, I mean, how crazy would that be if that happened to your friend right in front of you, and then you're dealing with the trauma from that situation, then you had to go back to your community, which is like a small, community, and tell them like, hey, like, he just got abducted by aliens. Like, that's so crazy. And it was really wild to me that, I never realized this until talking to him over the last weekend, but he originally had thought that it was that they had abducted him for very nefarious purposes, and then he kind of came to a realization years later that what had actually happened was it was most likely that the ship had actually zapped him, or there was like electricity that came out of the ship as it came down, and it threw him like 40 feet in the air, or 20 feet in the air, whatever it was, and he probably almost died, and it seems that they saved his life. They brought him on the ship and actually resurrected him and kind of, for like 5 days, and then just dropped him off when he was fine again. So that story to me is really wild, and it was really cool to hear that, definitely.
How about, haven't you heard about Travis Walton and Mike Rogers' fight they had, and Mike Rogers said we faked it all?
No.
Oh my God, yeah, it was a couple of months ago. Everything about Travis came out that they faked the entire thing.
No way.
Way, man.
By Mike Rogers?
Mike Rogers was supposedly owed money. See, these two guys, Mike Rogers...
Oh, I heard about that thing. I heard them kind of talking about that, but I didn't really know what the deal was with it.
But where they're from, Snowflake, Arizona, very small community, and they were known as the kids who see aliens, because every weekend they'd be out playing in the woods or in the neighborhood talking about being abducted by aliens. And it got around that these were the UFO guys. They were looked at a little strangely. Well, apparently, Mike Rogers came out, and I have to tell you, Apolla, everything he said was so well lined up with how they pulled it off that I don't have enough time to go over it now, but I really believe it. I believe
no way.
Yeah, I believe
what
it.
did he say? I want to know. We have like about 5 minutes left.
Yeah, I know. All right. So
I don't know.
I'll tell you.
Okay.
So the guys they were with, they weren't friends. They were workers. Every year they would, when it wasn't snowing, they would get together as the logging team and da-da-da-da-da. And when they left every morning, they went down certain roads, and went to work and different job sites and whatever. It's very dark in the morning when they left. So this day, they left the normal route, went to do their logging and whatever. But what Mike did and what Travis knew, there was a light tower that was used for fire, like for spotting fires for the rangers in the forest, whatever. They'd go up this huge tower and, look around and stuff. They had somebody up there with a big spotlight. Now when they went home that night, they went a different way home. They went to a road that was about 40 feet lower than the other road that was a little, maybe 1,400, 1,500 feet over there. So what had happened is when they were driving back home a different way, but nobody noticed. They were all tired, barely awake. It was a 12-hour day. All of a sudden, they see a light in the trees, and they didn't know if it was a downed aircraft or whatever, but Travis and Mike knew what it was. It was this tower where they turned on the lights inside probably, and from where the truck was driving, you would only see the top part of it. You wouldn't see the legs because it was hidden by the tree. You know how, the stilts or whatever it was built on. So from a distance, from the road, it looked like a UFO through the trees. Now, Travis ran out towards this light, and there was somebody up there who turned on a spotlight, and it was foggy. And the only way they said it could have pulled off in the way it did is if nobody followed Travis outside the truck, and nobody followed him when he ran and got underneath the light. And, well, the next thing you know, he faked like he got zapped, I guess. Mike was like, it's a UFO. Come on, everybody, let's go. So Mike Rogers was pumping them up. When he saw the lights, he's like, is that a UFO? I don't know. It looks like a UFO. Because those are the UFO guys. They could pull this off. So that's why the other guys didn't know. They were being subliminally told what it was without even being told what it was. So that's why Mike drove away, gave Travis time to go hide up in the tower. And when everybody was looking for Travis, they didn't take him to that point. They took him to the road that they thought they went down. And anytime the searchers were looking for Travis and they were heading towards the tower in that direction, Mike would lead them away. Say, we weren't even near there. So
wow,
there's a lot. There's diagrams.
You gotta be kidding me right now. This is.
I hope I tried to spit it out quickly as possible.
Yeah, okay. We have like 3 minutes left. So.
But just to end that story, then Mike, a few weeks later, I think this went on for a few weeks, because there's a guy that's making a documentary about the hoax, and was with Mike at the time. And anyway, so then I guess Travis got his money, because that's why Mike was going to spill the beans, which he did. But now that Mike got his money, he says, we didn't hoax it.
Wow.
So that's the Travis Walton aftermath.
Well, that's a great story to close this topic off with. I'm glad we went that route. Thanks so much, Rich, for coming on to tonight's show.
It was wonderful.
This has been good. Thank you so much. And thanks so much for everyone on Aftermath that's tuning in on Aftermath. Thanks for joining us and tuning in, and to my YouTube audience. If you're not on Aftermath FM, I definitely recommend going to check that out. Make sure you subscribe to Gufon on Richard on Gufon YouTube channel if you haven't already. And make sure you watch our reports on Third Phase of Moon, because we're getting a lot out there with Blake and Brent Cousins, and it's a lot of fun being a panelist. Again, Richard is my fellow panelist on the show, and we have a lot of fun. So definitely go ahead and check those out. We have some cool panels, and I actually have a panel coming out on my YouTube channel, Apollo's Odyssey. To my Aftermath listeners, definitely check out and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you want to help fund my show, go to shamanspears.com. I got some really cool crystal spears for channeling energy, so definitely want to go ahead and check those out. I'm working on a new collection that I am really excited about. And again, thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in tonight. It was so good to have you all here. It's good to see everyone on the live chat. And tomorrow I will have my panel with the Third Phase of Moon panelists at 5 p.m. Pacific on Thursday. Until next time, on Apollo's Odyssey, over and out. Yes, I actually ended it correctly this time. Okay.
We're still live.
Yeah, well, we're live on YouTube. That was with the radio. It's like I had to jam it all in. It's so hard.
Yeah.
So you're about to go live now on Gufon, right? On your channel?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm calling people randomly tonight, asking them about UFOs.
Oh, that sounds like like just random numbers?
Yeah, I've done it before. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds really cool.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
think
well,
I'll call restaurants, the airport. You know, I'll just pick a number out and just randomly call somebody. Hey, this is Gufon, the greatest UFO network. I want to ask you something. You believe in aliens, UFOs? Have you ever seen anything? That kind of thing.
that's great. And you're about to do that right now?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, everyone definitely go ahead and check
Come on.
that out. I'm going to have to tune into that. I got a little work to do before leaving tonight, but I'll have to listen in on that. And good luck
Yeah.
with that. That sounds hilarious.
We'll
That's a
do it
great
not
idea.
immediately when it starts, but you know, about 20 minutes in, I'll start that. It'll be great.
Awesome.
Thank you, Apolla.
Thanks so much for coming on. This was good.
It was fun.
All right.
Thanks.
All right. Until next time, see you everyone. Over and out. And make sure you go check out Gufon.